Gods and goddesses in training, welcome back to the channel. It's Uncle Makura. Today we're talking all about the magician archetype. And specifically, I want to bring up Mr. Sun Moon himself, Solomon, okay? First and foremost, I want you to understand something. This is a very deep understanding. On the spiritual path, you might get duped by the darkness. What do I mean by this? Usually, sun and moon, and this is very esoteric knowledge, but once you go deep into the rabbit hole, you'll meet that dark energy, okay? You'll meet that dark energy and you have to discern away from it. This is why I'm giving you this warning right now. Sun is usually associated with Lucifer, the light bringer, and moon is associated with Saturn or Satan. Okay, two different beings. A lot of people, they say it's one of the same or whatever, but I think this complex of duality that people get stuck in on the spiritual path, like it has to be sun and moon, sun and moon, sun and moon. That's the symbolism behind it. So I want you to understand that. We're gonna still use that. We're gonna use our discernment and not drown into the abyss. We're going to use it to rise in our flow state, power and paradigm. This is what we do. We are Primal Sutra. And we understood this threefold path code. It's the path of the Ruguru. Understanding that you are going on a journey from light, you're being a light born into the world, and then you start living and you carry on this darkness, these emotional burdens, perhaps these traumas, right? And so you access the shadows, you access your beast. And then from that point, you take a leap again, a leap of faith, going into your higher journey or your highest timeline, understanding that God is working through you, there's a divine plan unfolding, and you change again completely, right? So it's Ru-Guru. So a guru is going from darkness to light. The Ru-Guru is going from light to darkness to light. It understands the Tesla numbers of 3, 6, 9. See, 3 is the Trinity, and this is all from my channelings, the deities who belong to Primal Sutra. This is all kind of tech from them that I'm just kind of trying to formulate now in my vast brain, okay? 3 would be the Trinity, okay? Mind, body, spirit. Understand that this is why 3 and 6 is oftentimes associated with the beast, right? Or that dark side within. So it's not that we entirely discard the beast, because then the beast is gonna get unsettled and it's gonna start clawing at the cage, right? It wants freedom. It wants a space to roam and have an outlet to be free, right? And so we go from mind, body, spirit, the light of God refracting us like a prism. And the prism creates what? Colors of the rainbow. Colors of the rainbow associating you to the 7 chakra points, okay? So these light centers, wheels of light, you could say, are impacting us based on God's purest code frequency, right? Through each chakra point. But then we use the mind, the moon, the mind, okay? The manifestation, the mindifestation, the moonifestation, okay? Shout out to Midu Moon from Costa Rica who mooned me at a strip club. I know that was out of pocket, but some people get what I said there. We had an event in Costa Rica, it was lit, okay? You need to catch up to the next one. The next one we're going to is in New Zealand. And if you're just coming across me for the first time and you've never discovered this channel before, what we do is we take ancient principles and we apply it to modern contexts, right? So we want to take the work of the omnists, the ones who extract the wisdom from each different religious school of thought, crystallize it together, not in a weird Blavatsky way, right? Blavatskian way, theosophical way, right? But more so, it's a way for you to find your own inner compass and your own inner truth, connecting to the faiths or the indigenous people, right, on the planet, and understanding that they have a rich medicine and an inner architecture that we got to learn. Okay, now, so 3, right, 6, or some people say we're carbon-based being, carbon 666, right? That's the whole beast, trilogy or understanding. So we take 3, the Trinity, and we flip it, right? It's like anti-mind, anti-body, anti-spirit, right? That's that darkness. That's that hidden antithesis to what God wanted for us, right? And so when we sin, it's not necessarily like sin is written in a book like that. You know when you've done wrong, in a sense, right? Your body just has a code for it. So it's like you carry this guilt, you carry this shame with you, right? And that starts to manifest in your external world. So start to understand that it wasn't you that sinned, it was your mind, right? It was the moon, it was the subconscious. If you start to understand that I'm here for a higher purpose, and you're starting to understand this, right, here on this planet, that this is not even mine, right? I'm just becoming the channel, I'm flowing through it. My higher self is giving me the codes. Yes, I have, deities, but I'm not reliant upon them. I can also rely upon my own mind as a shaman, as a consciousness mage, okay? So, the magician archetype works with manipulating reality, okay? When I say the word manipulation, obviously people assume it's a bad thing, but what if it was another way of saying I'm getting my needs met? You get what I mean? The fact that you call it manipulation is telling me that there is some skewed understanding in your reality, because we're manipulating all the time. We're manipulating our looks to make us look better. I mean, women use makeup, right? Or, artificial silicone breasts and so forth, right? That is one way to do that, right? And then there are other ways to manipulate as well. Like you can have certain things. The magician understands if you move something at this level, it's going to change it on all of existence itself, right? It's going to create a ripple. The magician gets this, right? And so they are working with the conscious mind and the unconscious mind merging together. And they're creating the bridge between those worlds. That's what the magician is doing, right? Once you start to understand this, you will really start to look at this whole journey of, enlightenment quite differently. So here we have it. Solomon, right? This is his angelic sigil, okay? That connects all the archangels together, okay? The intent of Saul's soul, which is God's plan, right? And our mind, right, our mentality. So is it our personality? Yes, but it's not personal. Some people will understand this video. Some other people, it's going to go over their heads. What is this guy even talking about? What's the point he's trying to make with this video? What can I get in, 14 seconds? And I just want a technique and I'm out, okay? Give me the quick tool and I'm out of here, okay? That's not who I'm speaking to. Who I'm speaking to right now, you understand that there is something deeper happening right now on the planet, right? You understand there are these solar flares that are affecting our technologies. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but there are vast changes right now that are reminding us of the past, of Mu, of Lemuria, of Atlantis, of these old school teachings coming up again and rising up again as people start to awaken and raise in consciousness, okay? And so really start to understand where in your manifestation are you not understanding how to use this, because revision has been one of the greatest techniques that I've used, and that's the Neville Goddard tech, right? Where you go through your past event of something that has happened that has created a rule for you, and this is the nuance, right? So you want to go to the events that have created patterns or limiting beliefs for you. You have to get to those precipice points, those pivots of moments where you can just take that and transmute it. It's alchemical gold, right? You got to take the alchemical lead and make it the alchemical gold. That's the process of transmutation or transformation or whatever we want to call it, okay? So let's say you go through a memory, you in 6th grade, a teacher just like calling you some weird name, embarrassing you, making you hold your ears outside of the classroom like this, and you're replaying it in your mind, right? Maybe a lot of people can resonate with this, right? It's just like, what is this? Like, like making me look like a monkey? Like, okay. Ooh, ah, ah over here, right? let's say that you're waiting outside the classroom or whatever, right? Now I want you to time travel back to that time using your consciousness now and embody, almost possess that past version of you, right? Take over their body, right? Now you have control of the simulation and you can change the memory. This is not Neville Goddard's tech. This is like my tech over his tech, okay? So just giving you some side points. His one is like you write it and then you look at it before sleep or whatever, right? And he also called it an illegal technique, guys, by the way. Almost illegal technique, right? This is very gold. This is like, I'm just basically making you rich spiritually with this information, okay? Now you're like this and then you're in this physical body and you're going, what am I doing, bro? Like, and you just drop your ears down. You maintain your sovereignty. You knock on the classroom, you know. You say, I've learned my lesson, you know, and you go sit back down or something, right? You change the simulation in your mind, in your moon. A lot of us shame our sacral chakras, okay, which is our sexuality. What I've understood is I'm a very sexual being. And so my path working is associated with the sensuality, with the creativity, with that understanding that there is enlightenment available through sex. Not to separate the two, because that hidden lust or that desire, it needs transmutation, right? It needs to be used in a way that it guides us towards our greatest truth. So, you know how you can listen to your desires more? Try this. Your mind will speak in sounds at times. Now, I know we do this when we're unconscious at times too, but this is the process of the magician. So as a magician, you work with both, right? The conscious and the subconscious, or the unconscious. And you use symbols as a bridge between both worlds. So the symbology that you hold in your mind, the archetypes, the sigils that you hold in your mind, are all coming together to fuse this physical world. Okay, so your imagination creates reality, right? And everything you see outside of you, like the buildings, right? Or the cars that you see, all of them were first to design in somebody's mind, a blueprint. Okay, it was a thought first before it manifests into something physical. So start to understand that, guys. This is how we've been evolving actually as humans, creating new different technologies using what? It's basically mysticism, okay? And again, think about it. If it wasn't for that mysticism, a lot of our planet wouldn't have even gotten to this level, okay? There's a secret hidden history of the occult that this world has been keeping buried, right? Which is why it's called occult. It's hidden. It's hidden in plain sight, okay? So we had this understanding that, okay, we're going from priests 3 to 6 beast, and then 9, we're flipping the 6 back into God's plan again. Okay? So that is the Tesla understanding that I'm getting as a download today. This doesn't necessarily mean it's true. You can take what I say with a grain of salt. You can completely disbelieve me or discredit me. That's your perspective. Okay? This is mine. So start to understand that this Tesla code is basically your hero's journey. You're born into the world of light. You carry on these blocks, these granthis, these, little knots that tie up your chakra points and, cause your energy to stagnate and kind of go to one place. And then through the third eye, through the understanding of the soul, this understanding that through our higher awareness, our intuition, and understanding that God has a plan through us, we're actually these infinite beings, not these limited beings. We think we are so tiny and so small and we can't even make a fraction of difference in this world. Yes, we can, okay? So many people have done it. So many people have broken out of that normie paradigm and that code, and they've made something of themselves. They've used their will along with God's will, and they've been able to merge their ego or their persona with their soul or their spirit. I see highly awakened people who have an ego and persona, but have also joined hands in alliance with their spirit and soul. And by the way, guys, the way they describe this thing in the occult literature is like the energy of fire within, right? The fire in the belly, or that feeling of like, that's that desire. That's the desire. That's that flame of desire, you know? And we shame that flame of desire, but really it's because it's being perverted through the mind, the moon. It's our perspective. So God actually has a beautiful version of that sin waiting for us in heaven. But we take that image, distort it into our own worldview, make those colors our own. We make those chakra points, those colors, our own. And so what are we doing? We're coloring a corrupt world. We're coloring the world in a way that's not serving us. And so we're stuck in a loop. To break out of the loop, you've got to become aware. You've got to become conscious of your autopilot actions, the way that you're either hurting people or, hurting yourself, or getting more real with yourself, right? Instead of living in this facade, like I have to put on a smile every day as I go to work and pretend and pretend and pretend and pretend. And after a while, it's not pretend anymore. It's a fact. So you pretended your way into that negative reality and made it a fact. But you can also unfact it. In my book, TPM, Theatrical Plasticity Method, I mentioned this. You can unfact it. You can act it till you fact it. You can pretend or assume something until it starts to take a form, a shape in the mind of its own. And this is the secret to manifestation that actors have also buried from us, right? Acting is such a powerful understanding. Role play is such a powerful understanding because role play is what? Allowing ourselves to feel that version of us, right? That part of us that we might have repressed, or maybe we think, oh, that guy's a little bit taboo, right? Or, oh, that's a little bit edgy for me, or I can't really touch that, or I can't really go there, and maybe that's not for me. And we have these doubts, right? But when you get really clear that, yo, I have this really sexy side to me actually, or I have this version of me that's very, very paranoid. And I love both of those parts of me because they serve two different purposes, you see? But also it's the God's specific flow state design that he has mapped out for me. And so I'm just following that, and that's what Primal Sutra is, and it's going off of those codes and those understandings, okay? So if you are a student of this art form, I want to thank you for following me this far, okay? We've already gone through a lot of portals, a lot of shifts, a lot of rabbit holes, a lot of timeline jumps, but we're here now. And once we are here now, we must embody and activate the greatest versions of ourselves. Okay? That is our mission here on Earth. And if you feel called towards this mission, go to primalsutramysteryschool.com, learn the metaphysics of Tantric Riz, what exactly it is. How do you gain that charisma? Imagine you could do a yoga practice before socializing, and it magnetizes people towards you. Okay? What would that do for your life? How would that change your life? How would that change your business relationships, right? How would it change the relationships that you have with the opposite gender? How would it change the relationships that you have interacting with, let's say, potential suitors? How would it change your health? Because of the discipline that it now allows you to have. Because you are now tapping into something we call peak performance shamanism. You have all of these gifts, these psychic senses and all, but they've been buried, they've been repressed, they've been shut down. Society's killed the witches off, they've shut the mages down, okay? But secretly, all the billionaires are using all this voodoo and black magic and all this stuff anyway. I would rather know what they're up to than stay hidden and stay in La La Land, okay? There is this amazing light of positivity, which is God. And positive psychology has taught me this understanding, okay? That positive energy is not as strong as negative energy. So therefore we need a lot more of a positivity echo chamber, like a ripple of positive momentum and energy that breaks through the dense fog of negativity. And the energy of that is the Vajra, the thunderbolt energy, the sunlight, the whatever you want to call that, that conscious boom, that ability to say enough is enough, I'm cutting this off, I'm doing this thing, that spark of insight or divinity that we feel when we feel inspired, when we feel inspired towards something, when we're starting to glow in our power. Okay? So once you've understood this, it really starts to shape your ultimate reality again. This is the truth that we all know. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you. And stay legendary. May we never be the same again. I'll see you on the other side.